Hey, excuse me.
Yes?
Thanks. Don't be a stranger.
Tell me you're here to just report a good old-fashioned crime? If I have to deal with one more corporate exec begging for special treatment, I'll eat my badge. Oh, you haven't heard? Gagarin's going to be the next New Atlantis, or so we've all been told. Centauri Mills, Arcmite, Reliant Medical, they all bought up and renovated derelict buildings here in the city in the past couple years. We needed their jobs, to be sure. Gagarin got hit hard after the mech plants were all shuttered when the colony war ended. But I'm not sure I've ever met a more entitled group than these executives. Treat the city like an amusement park, and all of us as the amusements. It's kept me and my people plenty busy, just not with actual policing. But, I'm sorry. Did you actually need to report something? Guess I'm off the hook then. But look, I'm Security Chief Pretorius. If you do have anything to report, you can speak to me or one of my officers. We're always around. We've had our issues. Some folks aren't thrilled about the corporations moving in, but the majority don't act on it. Those that do, largely keep it civil. Protest, throw some paint, occasional crate wanders off. But we've managed to avoid any open conflict so far. It's really not a bad assignment. Well, I came here right after training, which was 10 years ago now. Gagarin was a lot rougher then. People were still reeling from all the plants getting shut down after the war. So there was a lot of petty theft, break-ins. I was responsible for putting together a pretty busy community outreach program. Worked out well enough that they eventually made me chief. Gagarin's not really that sort of burg. Most of the restaurants went belly up when the mech trade shut down. Only one left is Lizzie's, on the other side of town, though it does have a nice view of the square. There's also a little social club the local executive set up across from Lizzie's, but it's still pretty light on amenities. Now, if you're just looking to resupply, then you'll want Clint's. Another case of last business standing, but he's got a good selection. And for medical supplies, you'll want Dr. Kayala. You can find both of them on the main concourse. Beyond that, we're just corporate offices and private homes. Just stay out of trouble.
Salutations. Please ask a supervisor if you need something.
I don't think I'm the person you're looking for. Helena, or... Ugh, real scorcher
If
today,
my
isn't it?
services are inadequate, please leave a complaint so I can improve.
All these fancy new businesses going up, and we still can't get them to open up at chunks.
I'm sorry, but if this isn't directly related to Reliant medical business, you should really schedule an appointment.
You still want
Gagarin is a city on the rise. Cheap facilities, an enthusiastic labor market. Archmite and Satari Mills are just learning what Reliant's known for years. Gagarin is the place to do business.
In the sun, with dust devils chasing us.
You just want to go.
What's that like? Challenging. I work for Helena Strickland, one of the most driven executives in the industry. I tied him really, though she seems to forget it's not just her that's responsible for Reliant's successes around here. Though we've been having some courier troubles recently. I think there could be some credits in if you're interested. Speak to Helena. Who knows? Drink themselves to death? I honestly haven't the slightest. I'm usually too busy trying to make something of this city. But if you aren't the seize the day type, you can wander over to Lizzie's. I haven't heard about any waves of blindness striking the city's residents, so the drinks can't be that bad.
You have not been authorized to direct this unit. Thank you for your understanding.
You're not the usual courier. Please tell me you're his replacement, and that you're just here to pay me a long overdue visit on his behalf. What am I talking about? I'm talking about someone, anyone, handing over my exceedingly late delivery. Now, are you my courier's replacement or not? Are you now? Look, I'm expecting a very important package. Very important. What would you say to tracking it down for me? Quickly. I pay, and I pay well. Good. Let's get you on your way then. Akachi Rosenblum, United Transport, Gagarin branch. Now, please. Akachi, it's Helena, over at Reliant Medical. Your courier never showed. I need his stops for the day. This is my I don't care voice, Akachi. Oh. And what's your firm's policy on losing our branch as a client? I thought so. Send it to my personal slate. Thank you, Akachi. Here. All the places our courier might have gotten waylaid. She mentioned a panel or something that you can plug his ID number into at each delivery point. They should tell you if he's been there recently. The ID's 8148. When you do finally track him down, you can tell him you'll be completing delivery. Now go get me my package. Please.
Body font.
Do some documentation.
Have you ever met a pirate? Were you scared? I wouldn't be. I'm gonna become a famous bounty hunter, just like the Mantis.
I don't miss all the extra heat from the old forges, that's for sure.
I'm not supposed to run on the walkways anymore.
Welcome to Clint's. Whatever you need, I'm sure I've got it lying around somewhere. Except mech parts. Don't trade those anymore, so don't waste your time asking. Well, for one, it's illegal in UC space. Making mech platforms used to be Gagarin's bread and butter. So, since they were banned in the armistice, I get 1 to 2 folks a month asking what kind of relics I might have lying around. But I'm not about to risk a contraband fine at my age, so that's why I just lay it out up front. If you need anything, just follow the sound of falling inventory. You'll find me eventually. Gagarin. It was a military town until the end of the Colony War. Mechs were our specialty. Everyone always blabbers about Mars making the highest performance machines. But if you needed a system that wouldn't let you down in a pinch, you piloted a Gagarin. But that all dried up when the mechs were banned with the armistice. Now, we've got these new firms coming in. Arkmite, Centauri Mills. Claim they're here to revitalize the city. Which is funny, since their employees refuse to step foot in most of it. Plenty more competition for stores like mine, that's for sure. UC had a lot more money to throw around in those days. During the war, I couldn't keep the shelves stocked. At first, because of all the demand. But later, because the Freestar Collective flotillas were so damn good at picking off UC merchant craft. But the biggest difference now? The quiet. Not just because most of the forges and mines shut down. It was the testing. Firms used to drive their prototype mechs out into the canyons, way beyond the city. But you could still hear the guns all the way from here. It was like, shoo, thunder. So when the thunder stopped, well, so did Gagarin in a way. Hard to not be nostalgic for a time when the city was in a better place. Though, knowing what we do now, with the costs of the war and all, probably better for everyone that Gagarin's moved on. Gagarin. Everyone always blabbers, but if you need that all dry, Arkmite, Centauri. Let me just bring that up. Don't mind the mess. I've got a system.
Please ignore the clutter. We have a organizational protocol. Controlled chaos active.
Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but I've got a lot of shipments to process still, so let's cut to the chase. Are you here to claim a shipment in storage, or do you have some other shipping concern? Did one of my robots wander off again? Was it something else entirely? Well, it's owned by Unified Transport. We employ a mostly robotic staff. Fewer mistakes that way. We do short-term storage, long-term. I guess that's pretty much it. It's a warehouse. We do shipping. Enough said. You'd be surprised. Gagarin's had a bit of a resurgence lately as an industrial hub. It seems like every week we're storing and shipping more and more cargo. That reminds me, if this keeps up, we're going to need more robots. What do you expect? Robots never get tired. They don't need breaks. They can carry heavy loads. They're faster and more efficient in every way for this kind of work. And if I'm being honest, I prefer their company. When you've spent most of your life in space away from people, You learn to trust technology more than humanity. Back to work, then.
I'd kill for an ice cold boom pop right now.
Lost? The trick to the catwalks. Just keep turning right. You'll get where you're going eventually. The robots aren't the brightest, but the work would take twice as... I hate it when the walkways creak.
Chronicles of the Mech Riders. It's a good title. You read it, right? Ah, then let me explain. Action, adventure, heartbreak, humanity at its absolute most raw. Ever since I left the military, I've been thinking about writing chronicles. Interviewing other mech pilots about what it was like to experience the war strapped in, and what it's been like for us ex-pilots since mechs were banned. Deployed from 2309 till the fleet got themselves blown to bits 2 years later, and the UC waved the white flag. I was at the Battle of Mars when the Free Stars dropped in to try and blow our industrial output to smithereens. If you've ever visited Sidonia and noticed it's still in one piece, that's my unit's work.
That does sound terribly fascinating.
Well, in the bold future where the book's done and I don't have to track packages for a living anymore, I'll happily sign your copy. Now, what can I do for you? When folks lose a limb, some get ghost sensations. Feel like the limb's still there. Well, imagine that across your whole body. When you're strapped in long enough, you and your machine, you grow to understand each other. What the machine can take and keep going, and what the human can. We'd even sleep in our mechs so we could deploy faster. And since they were a hell of a lot more comfortable than the cots the UC issued, you spent your life cradled in the arms of a war machine. That's what it's like to pilot a mech, and that's what I want to write about. The armistice that ended the colony war put plenty of new laws into place, but the two big ones were no more xeno-weapons and no more mechs. You'll get into trouble for even having mech components on your ship on more settled worlds. So those of us that made our living piloting them were left without a purpose. Which is how I went from driving a 1500 horsepower battle frame to working in a shipping warehouse. Sailing across the settled systems, hunting down all these other pilots, it's not going to be cheap. That's why I'm living in scenic Gagarin and not, say, downtown New Atlantis. Every spare credit goes right into the book fund. Of course, I don't exactly mind living in the same town where my mech was built either. But once I've got enough, I'm gone. Roger that.
We should have a talk. When you have the time, of course.
Gagarin was a one-industry city for a long time. Now we got a little bit of everything. Watch your step. It's easy to take a sudden trip around here.
one more fight at Lizzie's, she and I are gonna have problems.
That is a problem.
I've been trying to get a transfer to New Atlantis. Pays better, climate's better, but I don't think I'm the only one. That's an 8 up at the Vanguard office. She's pretty good. Nearly convinced me to hand out recruitment material.
Ever since we talked about the Battle of Cassiopeia, I can't get what happened out of my mind. Was it that obvious? Oh, I thought I could handle these memories, but until I return to Cassiopeia, I'll never be able to put this to rest. The last time I saw my crew, their escape shuttle was headed for the planet's surface. I need to find the wreckage to ensure their memories are honored. I would like that. Actually, I need that. One problem, though. Pinpointing the crew's shuttle wreckage is going to be like trying to find a grain of salt in a sandbox. I think we need to start by locating my old campsite on Cassiopeia 1. Shortly after I evacuated, I saw the ship come apart. The UC listed it as lost, so I assume the Dauntless was completely destroyed. The Dauntless took heavy fire to the docking section during the battle. We had 3 shuttles. One was destroyed, and the other 2 were damaged. There was no other way off the ship. What's there to tell? I survived. My crew didn't. Still, I'll never forget my finger hovering over that launch button. Would I launch safely, or explode into a fireball? It turned out that my shuttle had just enough power to allow an emergency landing on the planet's surface. I had no other choice. My shuttle should have the telemetry tracking data for the other shuttle aboard. It should give us an idea where it went down. That's if scavengers haven't completely stripped my ship for parts. It has a breathable atmosphere, indigenous fauna, and maybe a few abandoned mining outposts. Otherwise, it's not populated. That's what I was hoping. But I don't know the exact location of my survival campsite. For that, we are going to have to head to Mast and see if we can get the information from my old friend, Admiral Logan. Your instincts are right on target. Logan and I butted heads more than once during my time with the Navigator Corps. We've never seen eye to eye. Look, I hope this isn't asking too much. Last thing I want to do is drag you into some kind of personal crusade. That's why I'm desperate for your help. Truth is, I'm scared. When I set foot on Cassiopeia, I don't know if I'll be able to handle what I find. If I begin to fall apart, I need someone I can trust to hold me together. Besides bad memories, I don't know. I'm trying not to think about it. Not yet. I know you will. You've always been there when I've needed your help. Why you continue to support me, I'll never understand. I feel the same way about you. Oh, I've been so busy searching the stars for answers, I've overlooked what's been in front of me all this time. True friendship. Something I've denied myself for far too long. Traveling out here with you, I've discovered that friendships change by circumstance. I worked closely with Aja on long space voyages, so we became friendly. When she quit Constellation, the friendship ended. But I'm certain at this point, even if you and I were separated by a great distance, we'd never lose touch. You're right. I have. Hey, anyway, I've taken up enough of your time. I know you have a lot to do. I really appreciate your offer to visit Cassiopeia. Hopefully, it'll bring me the closure that I've needed for far too long.
Man, could I use a vacation?
I'm Dr. Keala. Are you a new patient? If you're a UC citizen, I can look you up, get your benefits processed once we've done a workup. Oh, well, the UC subsidizes the costs of all services for its citizens, healthcare and beyond. Hard part is, you've got to earn your citizenship first, doing some job for the UC for X number of years. I got mine serving as a doctor in an at-need area, as they lovingly refer to Gagarin. Other folks, they've done it through scientific service, diplomatic posts. Heck, you could even go over and talk to Zaneta about joining the Vanguard. They'll get you your citizenship in no time flat, or so says Zaneta. Oh, well, hello right back at you. If you're ever in need of medical services, you just let me know. I like helping people. I grew up around here, so I already knew basically all of my patients from day one. My parents both worked the mines, and I saw how hard that can be on the body. Made me want to help folks around here. I trust you'll put this to good use. Take care.
Someone painted some choice words on the front of the Ark mine. You from off-world? Well, if you like your destinations hot and dusty, Gagarin's got you covered.
Heading outside the city? Be careful.
Courier 8148 detected. Error. You have already checked in at this drop-off location. Please resume standard route.
Welcome to the Vanguard Recruitment Office. Here to join the cause. If you've got a ship and the metal to help keep UC systems safe, the Vanguard has got a place for you. The Vanguard is the United Colonies volunteer fleet. Any pilot, UC or otherwise, is welcome to join up. You'll earn credits, and with time, your UC citizenship. Just have to complete an exam and a probationary mission, and you'll be out defending the Fringe in no time. Not a problem. What you want to discuss? UC Marine Corps. Served in the Colony War. I can't talk about the specifics, but I'm proud of what I was able to do. Being a part of something bigger than myself made me who I am today. Living in the war zone, you get a better idea of the value of life, of working together with others, of your own strengths. I'm still processing my experiences and how they changed my life to this day. I'd love to get some more people coming in the door. Any interest in helping me distribute some recruiting materials to a couple local concerns? Come back anytime.
Check-in accepted. You are late, courier. Please complete delivery and proceed along your route.
You want to know what I think about all these new businesses buying up the town? No comment.
Some of the other executives and I have been looking to form a town council. Ensure everyone's voices are heard in city matters. The locals would be invited, of course.
You're not on my calendar. Is this
Centauri Mills sees a lot of potential in Gagarin. All the security of a UC city, but at a fraction of the cost.
I hope this is important. Reliance, always here when you need us.
Truancy. For kids? Send them back to school.
Can this possibly...
You want children arrested?
Oh, Chief Pretorius? She thinks Gagarin is just peachy being poor and run down. Has no vision. But Arkmite does. Thanks to our investment, the largest formerly shuttered mech plant in the city has been refurbished and is churning out some of the finest heavy equipment in the settled systems. And we're sharing that vision of a revived Gagarin with others. We've been bringing in investors, showing them all the potential of this place. We were only asking the chief to make sure the areas we'd planned to visit didn't have any malcontents running around. Unfortunately, some of the locals don't appreciate all we've done for the city. We expect they will. After all, what truer sign of respect is there than a high-paying salary? What gave it away? I was born in New Atlantis. But the business environment is so stuffy there. Centuries-old firms set in their ways. Gagarin is gritty, exciting, an opportunity for growth. And isn't that what business and life are all about? Arkmite? We're the galaxy's premier heavy equipment firm. Diggers, construction robotics, that sort of thing. And we're on Gagarin to take advantage of an opportunity. The city's old mech factories have been sitting dormant for years now. But they're open again thanks to us. We've automated the old assembly lines and brought plenty of money to the city in the process. It's a win-win for all involved. This has been lovely. Really.
Thought it was. I remember watching shiny new mechs rolling onto ships at the port.
Oh, please don't tell me you're going to eat that. They said Arkmite coming here was gonna bring jobs. Then they, what? Look like the welcoming committee or something? And get out of my face. You one of those corporate drones? Gagarin doesn't want you.